Good morning from Europe. Good afternoon, good evening, guys, wherever we are. Friday, 22nd of January 2021, and we are getting closer to create the weekly candles. Now, worldwide, we do have the PMI day. Let's start with the Europe. The French flash services, much weaker than what market was expecting. 46.5, flash manufacturing in France, 51.5, higher than what market was expecting. German flash manufacturing, 57, market expectations 57.3, but still strong. German flash services, 46.8. Overall, EU flash manufacturing 54.7, services PMI 45, and that's the EU. Now, also, we got the GBP data. Before the London starts, we got the retail sales much weaker what the market was expecting, and now we got the flash manufacturing PMI weaker than what market was expecting, as well as flash services PMI very weak, below 40. Let's start with euro dollar. All right. And if you do remember, we were discussing possible short setup around 21.85. That's what is going on around. So what's happened? We hit some stops, all right, and trying to go lower. There was a few, and I'm going to explain, there was a few possible setups. If you correctly can place the line, right? So even at the end of that previous candle, there was a possible, because of a little bit of the upper shadow, possible setup on the lower time frame to try to go short. But anyway, if we are going to get this hour like this, right? So what is going on? For now, we are testing intraday demand from this early combination, right? So from here, if we are going to get this type of the close, we might see still bounce higher and attempt to create swing high, and from this moving lower. Still, in my opinion, all right, still in my opinion, we should retest at least 120, 119.60. That's what I'm gonna to look for. So when it comes to the euro dollar, shorts in play. The next one, but here 8 pips miss. If you do remember, we were discussing that first, before ECB, because of this price action overall, some aggressive guys may try to longs. I didn't, and it played out nicely. We hit the first target and we hit the second target. Also, we discussed, because of what we have higher, right, that maybe 50% of that towards 2640, 2650 could be the short setup. Unfortunately, the high is around 32, 33. So in that case, I miss that short opportunity right to the point. But I'm going to watch this pair very carefully. I do have exposure on the euro dollar, but I'm going to watch very carefully in case of very similar setup to what we discussed a second ago on the euro dollar, and maybe some kind of the swing high setup could be in play. Another one I want to discuss with you is euro pound. There you go. And well, as yesterday discussed, right, be careful trying to chase the market. Now we have quite strong move, but I would be careful. We are testing supply from the intraday perspective also. But basically, taking into the consideration the big failure we are going to see in a moment on the cable, I would be very careful trying to short it. Anyway, as discussed, right, we are testing supply. But the combination here with this fake to the downside, well, I would be very careful. I would start to look around in case of very similar fake at the upside. So let's say something like this upper shadow and close below the lines, right? Then and only then that could be some kind of the short setup. We will see. But also the data, the service in UK, which is very important, was very weak. So in that case, I would be rather very careful. On the other hand, right, the bulls may start to look around, taking into the consideration some previous levels, and look around the longs again, 88.70. So look for the pullback towards weekly open, towards the latest weakness, whatever you want to see. It might not happen, it might not materialize today, it might be, for example, tomorrow. Another one we discussed yesterday, so the update is to EURUSD. Watch very carefully, as something, to be honest with you, I didn't expect is materializing right now, right? So the bulls are looking for the weekly close above 57.50. If that's the case, then we are back above the very important demand line, and that could create continuation to the upside based on the short squeeze and the longs demand. So very nice setup. We have to fight with this latest supply, right? And if that's the case, then I think the next gonna be around 58.70, 58.80, and then higher towards 160, and this combination of 61.14. And finally, cable, very weak data. So the pound been hit twice with the retail sales and the PMI. So what is going on? Well, in my opinion, nothing else, just more stop hunt, more and more and more. Now, of course, it's gonna be very important where we are going to get the close, right? Because still above weekly open, but on the weekly chart right now, we are starting to create again upper shadow, another upper shadow. Right now, from the intraday perspective, we're testing some kind of the support demand based on the yesterday low, all right? So in my opinion, the patient here is gonna be the key, right? And what I like these upper shadows. So we testing some kind of the demand, as I mentioned, all right? It could be like this. So I'm looking to fade pound the Riley towards 137 plus again. If seen, yes, I'm gonna push the button, right? So that's it when it comes to the European morning and the London Open, with the very busy morning in Europe. But don't forget, guys, it's not the end. We are going to have busy afternoon as well, with the Canadian retail sales, and of course, manufacturing and services PMI flashes out of the US. Crude oil inventories and the latest existing home sales. So pretty busy morning in Europe. We got the very good chance to have pretty busy afternoon, and the New York session as well. So stay focused, don't be trapped, and if necessary, I'm going to get back to you with another update. With that being said, it was my pleasure to meet you this morning. Take care, goodbye, and see you around.